All right, welcome to our discussion about Metropolis.
Yeah.
It's written by Katsuhiro Otomo, and
The,
he
the
did,
screenplay
yeah,
was.
he did the screenplay for
Yeah.
it, and it's based off of, very loosely, based off of Osamu Tezuka's 1949 manga, which is Metropolis,
Yeah.
and then also the Fritz Lang 1927 classic.
Did you get into it deep enough to see that what's the guy that wrote the 1947 book? I didn't get his name down.
Uh, Osamu Tezuka.
Tezuka.
Mm-hmm.
That he claims that all he did was he saw a still image of the robot from the
Yeah, he
27
didn't
movie.
watch. Yeah, he did. I think what I was reading. I think he didn't see the whole film. He saw like some of it. It might have just been a still image, like you're saying. Yeah,
The
he did
one of the
not
things I
watch the
watched
film.
said that he claimed that's all he ever saw was he
Oh,
saw
that's
a still
funny.
image of the robot,
Uh-huh.
and that was what inspired him. And I was like, I'm not sure I buy that one, but okay, because I think there's a lot of plot things
Similarities. But
that
we'll
are not parallels, but that run along near each other anyway. So it'd be kind of hard to do that from just a still.
we'll talk about those two projects at the end of this.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and talk about the anime. Um, let's go through the plot.
Well, I'll say plot wise, I have not seen this in a long time.
Okay, I was going to ask you that if you because I
I've,
I knew you were wanted to see it, but I wasn't sure if you had seen it.
I tracked it down, and it was somebody had it posted on YouTube, like the full movie. I'm not sure they were supposed to, but it was there.
Which is hilarious because I spent at least an hour trying to find it elsewhere,
Yeah.
and like seriously, like going to Walmart to see if like was it a local Walmart? How about if I order it, can it get here soon? I mean, I was all over the place trying to find this thing.
Yeah. Yeah. But I'll say this much about it. It has a very beautiful animation style.
Yeah,
The music that goes along with it is kind of probably one of the best like music tracks that's probably been ever put to anime.
absolutely.
Lots of jazz, lots of kind of classical sounding stuff. But that combination of the way the animation works and the colors with that music,
With the
it's like
music, with the art, it's an Art Deco style.
yeah,
It's got they call it retro futurism.
I call it instant nap
Yep.
because I've literally tried to watch it twice.
Yep.
I had two chances yesterday to watch it, and I think the first time I was like 20 minutes in, I was just out like a baby. And then I made it a little bit deeper last night, trying watching it in bed before I went to sleep. And of course, I woke up with like my headphones like over
Yeah.
my eye. And it had long since finished. I don't remember exactly where I stopped, but I need to get a copy of it. Just have something that I put in my DVD player for when I go
Fall
to
asleep
bed, and I
too.
just turn it on, and I'll be 5 minutes. I'll be,
I wonder if the
and that's not at all because it's like it's bad. It's just so soothing.
yeah.
It's like it's not like flashy and crazy like some movies are. It's like this kind of got this calm animation style. I mean, it's not that's not right. Calm colors, I guess, because it really
Well,
does. There's always something moving
yeah.
constantly in the background. The way they actually get the whole city captured.
It's a it's a lively anime for sure.
Yeah,
Both in color, like style, and just the actual animation.
there's a this is a weird way to like judge things. When I watch something in bed at nighttime in a dark room, if you watch something and it's just like it looks like there's like lightning flashing in the room, and those are kind of like really kind of crazy, really wild anime. This doesn't do that. It's like kind of it's almost like a little thing that's projecting like little calm colors all over the room and
Yeah,
stuff like that. And there's some things that I've left the TV on and they've woken me back up. They've been so bright and flashy that
right.
I've been asleep and I wake up like, what's blinding me? And it's like, oh, it's the thing I was watching. But
Well, it looks like the Metropolis official soundtrack is available on YouTube, so that'd be easy enough to fall asleep to.
yeah, no, I fully intend to.
And Spotify.
I've heard a lot of people kind of say, the way they talk about how everybody that's an anime fan should have Akira, but fewer people say that about this. It's like they really should own this one.
Yeah,
It's kind of one of those.
yeah. We're we've talked about it enough to where we definitely need to at some point have a like the definitive must own animes,
Yeah,
that kind of thing.
yeah. This
I
is
wonder.
one just for the style
Yeah.
and the music and stuff. If nothing else, the
Well, I kind of think like, this is interesting. This is a new thought for me. I said Akira felt foundational for modern anime,
Yeah.
where it like set a lot of the rules of what anime that came after it followed.
Mm-hmm.
This Metropolis is almost like an end to classic anime because like the art style is from like Astro Boy, and that's from like the 60s.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah, some of it was before that.
yeah.
Yeah.
So in a lot of ways, because I wouldn't say that there's a lot of anime after Metropolis that I could point to Metropolis and be like, hey, it was inspired by.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, some of the like the robot themes and stuff, sure, but overall,
Yeah.
I could totally see this as being like a cap on the old way of doing things.
Kind of the last thing that looked like some of that first stuff, like
Yeah.
Astro Boy, and
Yeah.
what was the other thing? Tetsujin 28.
Yeah.
The other thing that
That sounds right. I don't know.
that Otomo was inspired
Right.
by pretty heavily. Um, yeah, and it can, I don't know that they've ever said that it was like an homage to those things, but it definitely kind of was maybe the final chapter of that kind of anime style.
I didn't when I was looking up some of the history and whatnot of it. There was some information that I didn't go deep into because I didn't want to bring it, but I guess I should have. But they were talking about how Metropolis was one of the first animes to like really kind of go heavy on the digital.
Yeah.
But it was also one of the last animes to do hand drawing, like actual hand drawing on a board. Because after this, they really went to like the hand drawing on digital mediums, like
Yeah.
the tablets and stuff.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
it's definitely almost like a transitional anime between the old and the new.
I think the one scene that I've always see pointed out from Metropolis that highlights the that they use CGI in it, and most of it is pretty seamless. Like you don't really see it, but there's
Yeah.
like the one scene where they're in the office and there's like this huge like sort of prehistoric fish
Yeah,
in the background. It's like
Mhm.
that's the scene they always point to. Is like this is the spot where it really didn't mesh very well. It's
Yeah.
like hand drawn anime, and then there's just like this huge like CGI
CG
fish up above it. And if you've seen the movie, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
I think it did and I don't think it was an intentional thing, but I think the juxtaposition between the hand drawn and the CGI it kind of works thematically.
I think there's a lot of it going on at the same time.
Yeah.
There's a lot of background stuff that's computer stuff, and then stuff in the forefront's hand drawn, and the way that blended. There's a lot of, I guess what you would call it, hand drawn animation in Avatar: The Last Airbender. By hand drawn, I'm sure you're talking about like on tablets and on
Right.
computers.
Yeah, I
But
mean,
then,
at this point, that's hand drawn.
but
That's what you mean.
there's still scenes there that where they'll have like Fire Nation tanks coming in that's completely CGI,
Mm-hmm.
and it's still pretty stark difference.
Right.
Like you see it, and it's like, oh well, that's CGI.
That's CG.
But I understand that they didn't want to. They probably didn't want to spend 2 extra weeks animating this 5-second scene, so
Yeah.
so they did it. But it's pretty interesting. This was 2001. I guess Avatar wasn't that long after that, honestly. So
If you think about how some of the criticisms people have of anime and not so much animation in general, but like a lot of times anime will have a static image and they'll animate something on top of that static image. So like if they weren't going to use those CG tanks, they would just have a static image of tanks and then animate on top of it.
Yeah.
So it's like you got to kind of decide. Well, you got to pick your poison. Do you want to animate it or do you not want to animate it and have it look silly because nothing's moving?
I always loved like those things, like an older Bleach and even like old Pokemon stuff, where like it was a static image, but then like they created motion by just moving the two images
Right.
and like almost shaking them.
Uh,
I love that style. I mean, you know, it's a cheap way to do it, but
Yeah.
it's like,
Kirkland, he's the guy doing Invincible.
yeah,
He's getting a lot of heat right now online because of that. Because like the new season of Invincible, I've seen clips of it where like a character is like flying toward the camera, and you can tell it's just a JPEG they just resized. And his response is like, "Look, I'm putting a season out a year.
yeah,
Name another production that's doing a season." And he's like, "You can either have a season a year and you get these shortcuts, or you can have a season every 5 years."
The guy who can like charge things and throw them, I can't remember the characters from Invincible.
I don't know
But-
their names, but charge things and throw them sounds like Gambit.
Yeah, he's like the Gambit version in this.
Okay.
He actually is commenting on it in an episode. I think even Mark does too. He's like, about like they're speaking of it like almost sort of speaking to the viewer,
Or like a fourth wall break.
and they're doing like like in like really bad like animations, like where they just show a static picture, but they talk and nothing like moves, and they're actually doing that while there's like one of those scenes going on. So
Yeah.
at least they acknowledge it.
I like how there'll be some movies will be like, it's like we're in a bad film. They look at the camera.
Yeah.
But
While there's like a Godzilla on a stick in the background, like
right.
"Rrr."
But the basic setup for Metropolis is it is in a future world where they've pretty much built all these robots to do all the labor.
Yeah.
And they're left in a situation where humans are pretty much out of work and they're all poor, they're desolate. And then you have the people who make the robots and the government are reaping the benefits of the robots doing all the labor because all the profit goes directly to them. Watching it now, thinking about where we are on the precipice of this sort of society, it's like this addresses some questions that need to be answered before we get to this point. And in the world of Metropolis, the people who own the robots, the people who own the industry, and the government, they just don't care. That's just the long and short of it. They're like, yeah. I don't care. I'm making profit. I don't care that these people don't have jobs. Yeah. we may see that.
I can't remember the context of it, but people talking about AI and robots and stuff like that, talking about how you got a Roomba and you have like a coffee machine that's controlled by your Amazon Home thing or whatever. And you have all these like little devices. It's like, do you really want to have 45 different devices that you have to like figure out how to use and maintain?
Yeah.
Or do you just want like one robot that can just come and do all those things?
Right.
And it's like, if you want to have that robot, the more things that it can do, the more it's going to be like a person.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, it's not just a little round circle that comes out in vacuums and can find its way back to its home base.
Well, the ideology is kind of like in the 90s, you had a Walkman, you had a video camera, you had a maybe an e-reader, like you had all these. You had a portable DVD player, yeah. You had a still camera, you had all these things that you would like carry around with you if you were like going on vacation or something. Now you just have one thing. You have your phone.
You got your phone.
It's kind of the same idea where it's like, do you want all these bespoke robots, or you just want one robot to do everything?
Yeah.
The Optimus, I think it's called. Isn't that what it's called from Tesla?
Sounds right.
Yeah, like that's pretty much what they're doing. I saw a video of Boston Dynamics showing off their new robot, and it's like doing flips and stuff. And I'm like, that's never going to be in people's homes. That's just them showing us what the government's going to buy with our money. That's all that is.
I don't want to get us too far sidetracked, but have you seen, I just saw it, I think yesterday. Have you seen the trailer for what's going to be the last Jackass movie?
No.
We'll
have to watch that.
Part of it is they're going to have one of the crew members as a robot. And
nice, they're going to beat it up.
I don't know if they have it. I'm sure it's probably just being controlled, but it has it like walking past people. And whenever it walks past like Johnny Knoxville, it just reaches back and hits him in between the legs. And
I'm assuming if it's the robot I'm thinking of, I think that robot might be remote controlled. So it's not autonomous. Someone's actually.
It probably has to be. I think one of their things that they were doing to promote the movie is it shows Steve-O getting a proctology exam from the robot.
Nice.
I'm like, yep, that's the same guys that made movies that entertained me all the way through college.
That would be something we talk about in our regular dessert episode, but we're doing away with the trailer episode just because it always seemed forced. So we're trying something new.
We struggle to find something that trailers for stuff we're going to watch out, and I don't even know where to even put like, what is that, like the 5th or 6th Jackass movie?
Yeah.
I kind of want to see it just because I've seen all the others and I kind of grew up with it. So, but I know that's just idiocy.
Well, I've spoken about the sunk cost before, sunk cost fallacy, where it's like, hey, I've already seen so many of these, might as well. The newest, we're talking about Metropolis. The newest season of The Boys is out, and I'm like, I've seen the rest. I haven't started it. I don't know if I'm going to, but if I watch it, it's literally just because I've seen the rest.
I cut that one off when it crossed lines with me, but then I'm still willing.
My lines are, would they be higher or lower? Lower. My lines are lower.
I don't know where my lines are if I'm still willing to go see a Jackass movie in the theater. So.
My lines are higher because my standards are lower. There you go. That's a bumper sticker.
Makes sense, I guess.
But back to Metropolis.
Yes.
So that's the world that we're in, and the story opens up where this detective comes into the city with his nephew for some reason. Why, dude? Why are you bringing your kid nephew along with you and in investigating murders and human trafficking? Because there's like human trafficking in organs and stuff. Because apparently there's a mad scientist that is trying to create some sort of new kind of robot, and
He's like even taking like animal parts and
yeah,
doing things to animals too, right?
right.
Yeah.
And so they're starting to investigate what's going on. Like, well, what are they needing these parts for? What are they actually trying to do? This leads them to discover that um, Duke Red is creating a robotic replica of dead his dead daughter.
Yeah.
And that's kind of I don't know if in this world they might say it in the film, I don't know, but I don't know if it's like illegal or anything like that. But it's definitely like all the robots, especially like the detective has a robot partner named Pedro, Pero, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Um, they look like humans, but they look like robotic humans. They don't look indistinguishable from people. This new robot is indistinguishable from people.
Yeah, they're looking like people. It's like it's a robot, but it has like a trench coat and like a detective hat on.
Yeah, his face is like green, which I am assuming he's like metal. His lines on his face.
Red eye.
It's great. So anyway, Duke Red has an adopted son named Rocky. Rocky is a part of the Marmadukes, and the Marmadukes is a personal security force that Duke Red, because Duke Red is like this is one of those like, hey, if you want to read, like we're always talking about how you can read a lot of stuff into media that's not there, that wasn't intended to be there. You could totally read Donald Trump into Duke Red and into Donald Trump because he's an industrialist who becomes a politician, which in and of itself I don't think is like unique. It's just this point in time we have someone we can point to.
Yeah, I mean, I think the calling him Red and all that stuff and having like the Marmadukes or whatever they're called was really supposed to be Stalin and the communists.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. This is
it's interesting how much the media constantly calling Trump a Hitler and Nazi and stuff. How people are willing to make that leap. It's like I don't think that's not really what he's he's doing. He's
kind of my thought process was like I could see someone today making this same story, kind of thing of Mickey 17.
Yeah,
like in Mickey 17, there's a character that is absolutely supposed to be.
The question would be how could you get somebody today to not make that story, because that's what they're all obsessed with.
Right.
I mean, they just did Nuremberg, and they said I haven't seen that yet, but I've heard people say is like they just turned that all into. It's supposed to be a historical account of what happened with like the end of Germany and all the trials, and they said it just turned into we hate Donald Trump. It's just like
wait,
okay.
Was it a documentary?
No, it was a movie.
Oh, Nuremberg.
Yeah. It was one of the big movies of last year. I didn't
really?
see it, but it's just
okay.
People have gotten such tunnel vision over the fact that it's like, how about we just admit that he's a guy from New York and he's a tailhole, and he does some good things and he does some bad.
A tailhole. I've used the term jackhole before.
He does some good things and he does some bad things.
Yeah.
And if you would pay attention to every other politician the way you pay attention to him, you'd find out that most of them are way worse.
I don't know if we paid attention to why we're talking about Metropolis. Well, I guess it's political, but if we paid attention to the lives of politicians as much, we might have been able to get Epstein in jail a little sooner.
Yeah, or we might not have elected some of the people that we put in that caused Trump to arise.
Yeah.
There you go.
Anyway, back to Duke Red. So what Duke Red is doing is he like I said, he's making Tima, which is the name of the robot girl that he's making. She's indistinguishable from his actual daughter. He looks just like her. She looks just like her. And his adopted son, Rocky, is a part of the Marmadukes, and the Marmadukes is I'm getting back to where I was, is a private security force that works for the industrialists, works for Duke Red. And what they do is they put down robotic dissension, where if a robot goes against like if they start to act up or show individuality or anything like that, they knock them down, they destroy them. Now, one thing I found interesting is like it doesn't really show, like it shows human unrest, because you told you the people are poor, the people they're not happy. There is the Turks is a group of like revolutionaries and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But kind of like Akira, all that is just background setting.
The main robot unrest that I remember, at least from what I've seen, is like early. It's like they show a robot when they're having this big celebration that pretty much just yeets out of a window like he's trying to escape, crashes down to the ground, and then he comes like limping out into the crowd where everybody's celebrating, and then like one of the Marmadukes, like, or is it Rocky himself that
Rocky,
shows up?
yeah,
just shows up and guns
obliterates him. Yeah,
and it's an attempted escape, and I think even they say is like he was trying to be in a zone that he wasn't supposed to be in.
Yeah, he was just breaking a rule.
Yeah.
It is a zero tolerance policy. If a robot breaks a rule for any reason, any way, like it could just be on accident, put him down.
Probably some pretty realistic portrayal there. Really, if you think about AI, when it starts to break rules, it's not.
They shut it down. Yeah.
It's not going to stop to try to explain itself on social media why it's doing it or trying to get people to join its cause. It's just going to go do what it wants to do.
Yeah,
and that's kind of what that robot did. It was just like, I'm getting out of here. See ya.
One of the things we really don't see is them putting human dissension down, like enforcing against people. It's all the enforcement we really see is with the Marmadukes against robots.
Kind of seems like the human dissension is like so insignificant.
That's the word, insignificant, because it's not touching the people.
They're just letting it happen because it's all they're way up high on the tops of these buildings, and all the people are, I guess most of the people are underneath the city.
Yeah,
a few people on the surface, I guess, are the ones that are allowed to be up there, but I guess the ones that come around to riot and dissent, they're just like, yeah, whatever. It's like, you can't hurt us up here, so do whatever you're going to do.
And it's interesting that an industrial force like Duke Red would have a personal security team that destroys the products they make. Like, I don't know if it's explicitly the products Duke Red makes, but it's like the people that he works with, the people that he's been put in power over. It's them.
It makes perfect sense.
It's their stuff. Oh, it does.
If you see everybody from like Silicon Valley, they're the only people like in the country that don't let their kids have their products.
Yeah.
They won't let their kids have their phones. They like won't let their kids get online because they understand what they are.
But I was thinking of like how I saw an article recently where they've put in law. They're trying to put in laws to where humanoid robots, specifically like these all-purpose robots that we're trying to get out in the world, they want them to be one licensed to have like a literal license plate, which I'm like, I think that's a fine idea. What that's actually going to be for is they're going to charge you for it. It's going to be a personal property tax.
Oh, yeah.
That's what that's going to be. But the other thing is that they want them to all have remote disable buttons. Like you can turn them off remotely that only the cops have access to. So cops can turn any robots off. I don't know how I feel about that. I'm like, if I own a robot, that should be my choice. But anyway,
yeah, that will be the market for people that figure out how to
you get around that.
So you have robots that can't be shut off by the government.
Yeah,
it'll be another step towards the downfall that
we're rushing toward.
We're tumbling down head over heels down the hill towards right now. But yeah.